Now we'll close Enscape, close this model, go back to our law office project, switch to my Enscape export view, click start. While this is starting, I want to show you where some of these assets live on the C drive. This is the default location where they're installed. C drive, program files x86. And then we're going to go to the common files folder because these are shared across multiple Autodesk products. Autodesk shared. Materials. Textures. You typically don't want to use any of the textures in folder number 1 or 2. If we look at folder number 1, switch this to detail mode. We'll change the size of these columns so that we can actually see the size of the file. So you can see these asphalt shingles are only like 29, 30 kilobytes. Asphalt shingles. Just double clicking on these dividers between the column headers to narrow it down to the maximum size required for any information in that column. You can see these are now 50, 60 kilobytes, so about twice the size. And then in folder 3, we see these are quite a bit bigger. So these are starting to get to be 4K images. If we select one of these and go to properties, you can see they're 4,000 pixels by 4,000 pixels. So they're nice high quality images. If we sort this folder by file size, you can see some images are up to 14 megabytes. So this is a really high quality texture. And Enscape can handle this. If you have a really good graphics card, your graphics card can handle it. The textures are the main thing that take up graphics card or GPU memory. So at work I have a P5200 NVIDIA Quadro card, which has 16 gigabytes of memory, and it handles handles large complex models with high quality textures quite well. So we're going to close that, and the first thing we're going to do is fix this unfortunate grass situation that we have here. So now I'm using the W key and the Control key, and then I was even spinning the wheel on my mouse to get it to move a little bit faster. So one of the challenges with the grass in Revit, and then that translates into Enscape, is the albedo is not set to a natural color. So the albedo is the main color and how the material reflects color, and both the grass materials that are default in Revit are not really good quality colors. So what we're going to do is go back into Revit, select the topo surface. We see site-grass is what's being used. On the Appearance tab, here's this default grass texture, which is just way too dark. So what I like to do is switch this out with an aerial image that I found This texture will be provided with the course. So I have this material called Grass Natural. We click on it, and then we're going to click on the preview swatch to open the preview and change the overall size to something quite large. So 120 feet. And by the way, I'm going to cancel that for a minute. I want to show you a cool trick. If we go back into the material dialog box and see this old material. So in your folder where you download the files that come with this course, you can actually take this natural grass material and drag and drop it into the material dialog box. I just learned about that recently myself. That's a pretty cool trick. So you don't have to click on this link and then go browse for it. You do want to make sure, particularly in an office environment, that you put these materials on a network location that everybody has access to, with it being on the D drive or the C drive, which are typically local drives. Only you have access to that. So I'm going to click on this preview swatch again and change the overall image size. Click OK. And now the Enscape view is updated, but I want to go back and double check one thing. Yeah, we don't need a bump map in this case, so I'm just going to turn that off. And now we have a grass that looks much better. I'm going to press H to turn off the menu. And so each individual blade of grass in Enscape actually goes down and samples the image directly under it. And with this somewhat irregular color pattern in the image that I used, we get a much more natural looking grass. Another material that we can look at while we're outside, just one last example outside, is for the walkway. So if we select this walkway, site-sidewalk, and for site-sidewalk it's set to this concrete pattern. You can see it's a legacy material with the little orange triangle in the lower left. So rather than loading an entire new material into Revit, which may cause us to lose some information that we had already set up in terms of a surface pattern or some information about the manufacturer or model number of a material, we can use this Replace Asset button. So this is just going to replace the render appearance information for this particular Revit material. So only the information on the Appearance tab. So I click on that. It opens up the render, or it opens up the asset browser. If I go down to Site Work, or even just type walk, so concrete walk, that got me there directly because I knew the word walk was in the material name. This does not have the orange icon or triangle. So I double click on this and it instantly replaced the information over here in the Revit Material dialog. This material is one of the new advanced materials. We can see it has the word parameters. It also has this advanced highlight controls, and there's a relief pattern set. There's also this roughness and reflectance. So at what angle the material starts to reflect light, and then also what areas of the material are reflective. So you can have different reflectances within the same material. We'll click OK. Enscape's automatically going to push that change out, and then we see the material updated.